See anything about this? Anything familiar? You're just watching an anchor delivering the news. That's Kari Lake. Back in the day when she was the top anchor in Phoenix, Arizona and beyond, hugely popular. And you know what? She decided, enough of these politicians. I'm going to run myself. I could do a better job. And she turned out to be an incredible candidate. I mean, talk about a natural, all right? Now, those were two very close elections, and a lot of us think that she should be in the U.S. Senate right now or in the State House, but I think that's going to happen someday. In the meantime, President Trump made her, I guess, senior advisor for the U.S. Agency for Global Media, the voice of America, folks. Kari Lake, it's been way too long. How are you, and how do you like the new gig, and what do you think of D.C.? And my first question, how are you?
Wait a minute. This is a PG show. You don't ask me that question. What do I think of D.C.?
Rough, huh?
I gotta keep it clean. It's pretty swampy here, but you know what? It's great to be a part of the administration. We're getting to work. I've got the Doge team working with me, and I'm here representing the American people, representing the Trump administration, and I've got a great work ethic, and so I'm ready to get to work, cleaning things up, rooting out the fraud, the abuse, the waste of taxpayer dollars, and we're getting busy doing that in this agency. I have found out that it's even more swampy and dirty than I thought, and we're already in a battle. We've got several lawsuits that we're in the middle of, but that's what happens in Washington, D.C. when you try to shrink down the bureaucracy. The snakes come out and they try to fight you and they try to bite you, but we're biting back.
Wow. All right. So this Voice of America, Edward R. Murrow, back in the day, right? The legendary, possibly overrated journalist was there and saying all kinds of stuff. I think we might have an old-timey picture of him. But anyway, regarding VOA, it leans left. Everybody seems to know it. Is it like kind of your responsibility, almost like Linda McMahon, get rid of the Department of Education, maybe get rid of the Voice of America? Is it useful anymore? Do we need it? What's the deal?
I think there's elements that are useful, and we need to determine what that is. But the way that it's been run has not been run properly. And what I'm busy doing is overseeing the agency that oversees VOA. And so I'm kind of looking at where's the money going. And we have all these grantees where half of the money that's going into the agency is flowing into these grants that we don't have any transparency on. I just recently canceled a $250 million lease for a fancy, swanky new building. We are getting out of that lease and saving the taxpayers $250 million. And we've put a lot of the employees on administrative leave because we're following an executive order that the president put out on March 14th and said, we want you to boil this agency down to the statutory minimum. Cut back on the bloat, and so that's exactly what we're doing right now. And we're going to make it lean and mean. And we know that some of it is mandated by Congress, so this agency will exist, these outlets will exist, but we want to boil them down to where they're modernized, they're not full of waste. I mean, I know that our adversaries have similar programs where they're putting out government information, but they're not doing it in 1990s style TV. I mean, the world has moved to a digital platform. Do you think the CCP is putting out long format 1990s TV? No, they're working with TikTok and other apps and putting out information using that soft power. So we're going to find out what's working, what's not. We're going to modernize it, make it better, and make it actually useful so that it's not spreading anti-American propaganda. We want to be spreading information that is in alignment with our diplomatic policies, not against them.
That makes a hell of a lot of sense. And people listen to these messages, and what's the mission? Like, make them like America more? Make them, hostile to their own government if it's a bad government? Is there an outcome, or is it just,
well,
I think, where are we getting at?
The mission is to spread the story of America, freedom, liberty, but it's also to keep in close contact with what we are pushing diplomatically. And it's just like every agency, Greg. You know what happens? Do you ever hear about them shrinking it down? Once it starts out, they never say, okay, now we're done, mission accomplished, we can shut down shop there and we can open up something and do something here. So we're in the process of shrinking it down and bringing it down to the statutory minimum.
Right.
And so that's what we're doing. The taxpayers are paying for this. And I'm thinking about the truck driver working the overnight shift. I'm thinking about the farmer who's hoping to get through another season. I'm thinking about the mom who's had to take a job while she's raising her kids. Their tax dollars are funding this agency, and right now it is rotten to the core. And I cannot allow this money to be spent in an agency that's rotten. So we're working to push the rot and the fraud out, and we're going to do that.
Awesome. Well, you keep thinking about those truck drivers and saving money. I'll be thinking about you for president in 2032. I think that's the year now. I used to say 2028, but probably 2032. Things are...
I might be getting a little old by then, but you know what? I'm happy doing this. I'm thrilled to be working for the Trump administration, and it's really fun to come in here and work to cut down the bureaucracy.
All right. That is awesome. And great to see you again, Kari Lake. Keep it up. The senior advisor for U.S. Agency for Global Media, to be continued for sure.